Hello Cancer, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We're looking at all three sides of the connection, so we've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. As I do in all of my readings, I pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. But I still have a different tarot deck I'll be pulling from for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck that I will be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, the whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, take what helps, leave what doesn't. I'm trying to get that under 1:15 for you guys, that intro. So, all right, Cancer, let's start. With your side of the connection, you have stand your ground with the Two of Swords here. So it feels as if you have a decision to make. Now, you might feel as if it's the other person, for some of you, you might feel like the decision lies in the other person's hands, but it doesn't. There's a decision that you are needing to make that lies in your hands here. And standing your ground is very important. You know, standing by your boundaries, maybe setting boundaries, standing up for what you need, what you deserve, is very important in this connection. I feel like this person has a tendency to kind of, maybe you have a sweet spot for them, like a soft spot for them, or I don't know. I feel like you have a tendency to kind of allow this person to cross your boundaries more than you typically would other people, which is why it's really important that you're aware of that and coming from that place of, I'm going to say like protecting yourself necessarily, but standing up for yourself. Like it says, stand your ground. Now this person, they have it's never over with the Knight of Wands in reverse here. So this Knight of Wands in reverse can represent a lot of different things. It can be, kind of a lack of vulnerability. The way that I really kind of am reading it in this reading so far is self-sabotage. So, it's never really over energy, kind of things going around and around. Like I think of like a Ferris wheel, like, things are improving in the connection. This person is showing up. They're starting to, to be more present. They're, starting to show up like you always knew that they could, and then they're right back, they kind of go right back to how things were before until maybe an argument breaks out or whatever the case might be. Either, it doesn't have to necessarily be like that exact kind of cycle, but it feels like it's this Ferris wheel kind of things are improving and then they are getting worse, and then this person gets better and then things are back to where they started. And it's just like their self-sabotage kind of keeps getting in the way here. Now, it's interesting that you have it's never over, because in between the connection you have never again with the Four of Swords in reverse here. So your soul is pretty drained from this cycle, pretty drained from this connection here, and there's a need to break some sort of a cycle. The overall theme for the reading is karmic path. So there's something very karmic going on here. Yes, this could be a karmic connection, but it could also represent a karmic cycle within the connection, something that withstand your ground in the Two of Swords, like you have the ability to break this cycle. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that you have the ability to break this person's cycle of self-sabotage, but you have the ability to break the cycle of how it is affecting you. So we focus on what we can control on this channel, and that's no different with this reading. So that was just the overall energy. Let's jump into the story here. Let's see what Cancer's energy toward this person is. This is Cancer's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. And needing to learn the most from right now. Okay. Hangman in reverse, Three of Cups, Four of Wands in reverse, Six of Cups here. All right. I kind of get this feeling that this person has either been a part of your life for a really long time, or it feels like they have. Like you and this person's lives are pretty intertwined, or at least no, yeah, that's what I get. Like, you and this person's lives are pretty intertwined, which I feel is what makes it so difficult for you to stand your ground, is because there's so much more involved. Like, it's one of those, like, it's complicated situations. And I feel that, what you're needing to know is that choosing yourself is going to be the best option for you, regardless of what you think that's going to lead to. So for instance, like, if you share a home with this person, it's, it might still be better to create distance or something like that. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's exactly what it is, but I do feel like you're holding on to maybe the version of this person that you want them to be, because you're like, well, they're such a big part of my life. Like, I've been friends with them for forever, or it's my father, or, whatever the case might be, that makes it a lot more difficult for you to kind of make the best decision for you here. But, like, what's going on? Like, I want to know what's going on, because it's obvious that this person's actions are affecting you pretty heavily. This is Cancer side of the connection. 10 of Swords. The Page of Wands here. And the 3 of Swords on the back. I mean, that's tough, right, Cancer? This is not, so, a couple of things. It's obvious that, something this person, I don't know if it was betrayal, I don't know what they did, but this person has done something to hurt you, to break your heart. Could be, this could be betrayal, abandonment, like stabbed in the back. Like, that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling. Like, I trusted you, or you were supposed to be the person to treat me better or something. Like, it's like you put all of this faith in this connection, and then it turned out to be not so good here. Now, with the Page of Wands, this is like inner child energy. So there's also some inner child wounding coming out here. Like, maybe you trusted this person to love you in a way that you've always been deserving of, but maybe never really received, and they didn't really show up for that. I ultimately feel like this is a result of this person's repetitive kind of behavior here. And maybe it happened all at once, or maybe it was over time, like one more knife in the back kind of thing, until you're now at this place where you're going to need to, stand up for yourself in some way here, Cancer. Cancer side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Is that coming out? No, it's not. Okay. Oh, it is? Okay. Ooh. Okay. You're not treated very well in this here, Cancer. King of Swords in reverse with the Hermit. This King of Swords in reverse, it can be cruel. It can be manipulative. It can be cold, distant. And then this Hermit here is a need to kind of shine a light on this behavior. Because I feel as if there's a lot of giving this person the benefit of the doubt, kind of allowing certain behaviors to slide, or like when they say something that hurts you, you just kind of like brush it off. Or maybe you've learned to do that because standing up for yourself was, didn't matter because the person didn't change or the behavior continued. One of the hardest things I think I've learned about boundaries is that our boundaries are not to try to change other people. Our boundaries are not a way of saying, you need to do this. Our boundaries are a way of saying, this is what I require, and if you can't step up and meet this boundary, I can't continue to give my all to this connection. I think that so much of the time we think that like standing up for ourselves is a way of trying to get other people to change or to see the error in their ways or whatever the case is, when in reality there are just some people who won't. Some people, not everyone's here to grow. A lot of people are here to just kind of show us what happens if we don't grow. And And I say all of that to say that it's important that we can make sure that we stand our ground while we're being okay with the other person's response. Because I think that that's the hardest thing, is some people aren't going to choose to rise to the occasion of a boundary, or some people aren't going to respect your needs. And that isn't an indication that that you don't deserve to have your boundaries met, or to have your needs respected and met. It means that that person isn't willing to do what it takes to do those things. And that's more of a reflection of them than it is you, and if anything, it's a sign from the universe to say, this isn't meant for you. This isn't supposed to be in your life at this point. The best way that we can ever get a sign from the universe about whether or not somebody is meant to be in our life is setting a boundary with them. And if that person, rises to the occasion of that boundary, great. That means that that person is willing to do the work that it takes to be a part of your life, just as you are, right? It's a two-way street. But if not, then that's the universe's way of saying you deserve better. And I feel like that's kind of the decision that you're needing to make here is, set that boundary, stand up for what you need. And if this person doesn't respond appropriately, that's your sign from the universe. All right, let's get more Cancer side of this connection, because I don't like this energy that I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. We're actually going to hop on over to this person's energy. It's never over with the Knight of Wands in reverse. I just don't like that King of Swords in reverse energy very much. This person's energy toward Cancer. This might not be for everyone, but I feel the need to say this. I also kind of feel like this person has this idea that they can just kind of do whatever they want and you're going to continue to stick around. And I think that that's why I don't like their energy towards you very much, is it feels very entitled. I'm not saying they're a bad person. I'm just saying, everyone is the way that they are for some reason. But I do very much feel this energy of I can mess up again. Cancer's gonna, Cancer will still be there. Cancer doesn't ever give up on me, or Cancer doesn't give up on this connection. Not that I'm saying you need to just give up on this person or on the connection, but, just make sure that you are still putting yourself first instead of waiting for this person to do that. Because when we wait for other people to put us first while we're not putting ourselves first, we're actually creating more of the same dynamic. 4 of Cups with the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay. Interesting kind of energy here. How do I say that? This person lives in a very not so realistic reality. I feel like let me see. Yeah, okay. This is the 10 of Cups in reverse with the Knight of Cups in reverse. It feels, okay. I'm trying to figure out the best way to put this into words. It feels like they live in a world where they're the main character, which, I think we all have a tendency to get that main character syndrome, right? But living in a world where it's it's all about them and how they're feeling and how they're affected and what they're going through and, their problems and things of that nature. And it's left very little room for you here. So I guess selfish is the word I'm gathering, but I feel like it's more of a way that this person, because with the Knight of Cups in reverse, it's kind of living in a heightened, triggered state. When we're used to kind of being in survival mode, we are going to be very selfish, because our mindset is going to be, how can I protect myself? How can I make sure that I'm okay and I'm not going to get hurt? And so, it stems from somewhere, but I do very much feel as if this person, it's all about them here. And I feel like that's It's a hard energy to deal with. This person's energy toward Cancer. Okay. I don't know what they're dealing with here. The Tower in reverse with the patient, or with the patience, with the Temperance. What I was going to say is, they look like, I feel like you have an overwhelming amount of patience with this person, because this Tower in reverse energy is like, it usually to me means like avoiding an inevitable, not facing the truth, things of that nature, which could be true, but it kind of feels, this might be one of those people whose like life is always on fire. Like, that's kind of the idea. And it's always self-made problems too. Like, that's kind of what I'm gathering here. It's like they self-sabotage and then they're the victim. They do things that they know that they shouldn't, and it results in, issues for them, but it's like, it's everybody else's fault. Like, that's this energy that I'm gathering from this person. And you're sitting over here holding on to the person that they are when they're at the top of the Ferris wheel. When things are good, when they're, clear-minded and, not self-sabotaging, but then something always brings it back down. It's like, I don't know what it is. But every single time it hurts you a little bit more. Because you're waiting. You want to meet them at the top of this Ferris wheel. You're like waiting. You're like, I know that if you could just sustain that, we could be really good. When things are good, they're really good, right? When things are not good, they're really not good. And I feel like that's where you're hurting, is when those periods of things not being good, which are far too often. Now, here's the thing. I think that it's really hard when we love and care about someone to let them kind of hit their own version of rock bottom. But I also have learned that is the most loving thing that we can do for another person. I think we try to save people. We try to save them from themselves. We try to save them from their own behaviors. And we ultimately try to save them so that they can be, what we know that they can be for us too. There's going to be a little selfishness coming from both sides. But it's natural, especially when you really love and care about someone. And it's really difficult when you watch someone continue to make mistakes or, self-sabotage or do all these things to hurt themselves. And you have to be strong enough to say, I can't keep saving you from this because it is starting to drown me. Because it's like someone who's drowning and you're trying to save them and they start pulling you down with them. That's what this reading feels like. And I don't know if that's, this doesn't necessarily need to be romantic, right? I don't know what this is necessarily referring to, but I do definitely feel like you're needing to make sure that you are saving yourself. You can't, if you're drowning, you can't save someone who's drowning. And I feel like you're kind of at this place in this connection where you're drowning too. So you can't help somebody who's drowning if you're also drowning, right? You've got to kind of save yourself here. And I don't mean that in a screw this person kind of way. It's just if you've done everything you can to help someone and they are not willing to help themselves, there is nothing else you can do. I guess that's kind of what I'm saying. And I feel like you're tolerating so much of their behavior and their treatment towards you because you love them and you care about them and you want to see them happy and successful or whatever the case is, but it's starting to impact you in a negative way. And that's what you're needing to take a look at, because that's where the karmic kind of aspect of this lies. All right, one more. This person's energy toward Cancer. Yeah, see, this person needs a wake-up call. The Hermit in reverse with the Page of Cups in reverse. They're not... They need a wake-up call. And I don't know if you're going to be the one to give that to them. Especially if you're constantly saving them from like having to hit that rock. Because if I look back at my life, the moments where I grew the most, where I evolved as a person, were when I hit rock bottom. And if someone was there to save me from those moments, I might have never learned. I might have never grown. I might have never evolved, right? And sometimes one of the most loving things that we can do for somebody else is saying, I can't fix you. I can't save you. I love you and I care about you, but I'm going to have to love you from a distance because this is starting to affect me in my life and my self-worth and, so on and so forth. So, I don't know. There's lots going on here, Cancer. Let's see. This Cancer's energy toward the person they are dealing with, because, this person needs a bit of a wake-up call. I feel like they're not, I don't know. Cancer side of the connection toward this person, please. Devil, if there's an attachment. This could be a codependent kind of connection, codependency kind of connection, where, this person, I don't know, there's a code, I don't know if this is codependent, I don't know. I think it is. It's like a codependent attachment-based connection, which is what's making it so difficult for you to make the best decision for you. Codependency is something that I've struggled with my whole life. And it's something that, even being in the healthiest connection I've ever been in, I have to constantly check myself because I'm so used to falling into codependent habits. The chaser, the runner, the savior, and the person who needs the saving and things of that nature. And I kind of feel like that's what this connection is dipped into, because it's created this attachment where you believe that your happiness depends on this person's self-improvement, on their ability to sustain, the person that that they can be. And I think it's so vitally important that you recognize, Cancer, that you are able to be just as happy, loved, abundant, successful, all the things that you desire, and you don't need this person to do, you don't need to give them the power to do anything in order for you to be happy. And I feel like you've given a lot of your power away to them, and you've said, and it makes sense. When we love and care about someone, we want what is best for them, right? And yeah, sure, that's going to be what's best for us too, because it's going to improve the connection, but we want what's best for them. And I feel the hardest thing that you're needing to make sure you're doing in this connection is that you're working on detaching yourself from what you need from this person, and you're focusing on what you need from yourself. Because again, you cannot save someone who's drowning if you are drowning too. And you're starting to drown here. Codependence, if you find yourself struggling with like codependent relationships that kind of have a tendency to turn a little toxic, or where there's one person who's overgiving. The best thing I ever did was I did so much research on it. I did a bunch of research on codependency, on just attachment, like theories of attachment to connections and things of that nature. And the more that I learned about myself, the more I was able to break that cycle, because it kept appearing in my connections with people, no matter whether it was the same person or not. And that maybe that's what this reading is kind of talking about, is there's this karmic cycle of maybe you attracting people in your life that need saving, and you trying to save them or fix them or heal them, and then you end up, in a place worse off than you started, because again, the person who's drowning, you kind of pulls you down with them. Cancer side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. This is a very straightforward reading for sure. Cancer side of this connection. So you're giving this everything you have. You have given it everything you have. And it's made you feel like you are not enough. With the Lovers in reverse. Knight of Wands with the Lovers in reverse. Because you've given it everything you have. And I think a part of you is like, why won't you stop self-sabotaging? Why won't you just let me love you? Or why won't you just let this connection work? Or why won't you just show up? Like, why won't you just do better? And it's almost as if you're saying, like, am I not good enough? Is it not, are you not Is it not, is what I have to give not good enough for you? Like, you've started to, and this is what I said, you've started to question your own self-worth because of this person's behavior, which is where that attachment codependency starts to come from, is you tie in your self-worth to somebody else's decisions. And when we do that, we give the other person complete power to decide for us what's good and what's not. Now, the other thing that I feel is like coming through with this devil that I'm wanting to say is sometimes we get into connections that are the healthiest that start to actually be very addictive, because when things are good in the connection, it provides us with this like high, and it's just like the high that you get from any other addictive substance. It makes you crave it. It makes you want more of it, especially when it's not there, when there's the absence of it. And that happens sometimes when you're dealing with not so healthy dynamics, is you experience those highs of the connection when things are good, but the lows are horrible and they're so painful, but you hold on through them because you're just waiting for that next hit, that next high, if you will. And I feel like this is one of those connections, and I used, I guess, Ferris wheel, but I guess it could be roller coaster too. It's like when things are good, they're good, but when things are bad, I mean, it dips, and it is affecting you on such a deep level here, Cancer. And I feel like the spirit is, I don't know, trying to necessarily warn you, or just trying to bring it to your attention, or maybe you already know and you were just kind of needing confirmation of what you've been feeling. All right, Cancer side of the connection. Seven of Wands in reverse. I mean, that's the need for boundaries right there. Yeah, because there's the Four of Pentacles in reverse. I mean, I feel like you went into this stable, secure, good. People in our life people who are meant to be in our life are going to help us improve. We're going to feel that our life is better because that person is in it and a part of it, that they're pushing us to grow. They're pushing us to, be better, to improve. When we're with someone who we feel is constantly pulling us down, like with them, on their roller coaster that they're on, it's like, I guess that's what it is. It's like you bought a ticket to this person's roller coaster ride, and now you're like, I'm dizzy. I'm going to throw up. That's kind of what it feels like. And I feel like you're needing to kind of like, stop the ride, let me off. This person can stay on it if they want, but I can't, because I'm starting to get affected by it. All right. What else does Cancer need to know about this person's energy toward them? This person's energy toward Cancer, please. Is that upward? It is, but it's not. Okay, that's confusing. Strength, Emperor, Moon, Devil. Whoa. Strength, Emperor, Moon, Devil. Strength, Emperor, Moon, Devil. Okay. So it's interesting seeing the Devil come out in the same place, And the reason I was confused about the Strength is because it's there. It's like it's upright, but it's not. And like, because if you're not familiar, like if a card comes out a certain way, that doesn't necessarily mean I take it that way. It's whatever way it intuitively feels that kind of aligns with the messages. So keep that in mind. But it's like I feel like it's here. That's what I feel like. I feel like it's sideways. And I believe why I'm getting that is part of it is because I think that this person gains a lot of like their confidence and their strength, like from their connection with you, like a lot of their validation from their connection with you in some way. So I'm trying to think of the best way to sure, they mess up over and over again, right? Like, yeah, I make mistakes, but Cancer still loves me. Cancer's still around. Cancer still sticks around. And it's almost like that level of like validation almost that they get from the fact that you still are showing up for them is what keeps them doing the same thing over and over again. Like, why would they change? Why would they do anything different if they can still have everything that they're looking for from you? And I think that that's one of the things you're going to have to ask yourself. Now, again, I'm not saying that like setting a boundary or walking away is just going to initiate a change in this person. I think we often feel that that might happen, but I don't like that behavior toward the connection, because what that's saying is I don't need to change even if I'm hurting Cancer, because Cancer's going to stick around. That's why they have it's never over. And in between you have never again, because in their mind it's like Cancer would never leave. They'd never let go of this. They never, I don't know. I don't like that energy, because I feel like it's very it's kind of manipulative, right? It's selfish in the fact that I don't. Now maybe they are just completely unaware and don't even see how they're hurting you, or they just are totally justifying their actions. I don't know, but this person has a lot of growing up to do, and I don't know if they're gonna do it. They're not gonna do it if they don't have to do it, right? Like, this person's energy toward Cancer, I don't know. It's interesting. And you know what? I've been this person. I can say that. That's why I like doing these readings. I've been this person, and then I was this person, and now I kind of, I've gotten to a place where I'm actually capable of sustaining healthy relationships. But, I was coming from a place of being very hurt and very, having a background of quite a bit of trauma, like a lot of people do, but I was using it almost as a justification to mistreat other people or to put my trauma and my problems on other people. And it's almost like I learned that, it's the definition of hurt people. And I learned that if someone was going to allow me to behave a certain way, I was going to do it, because I was so worried about what was going to keep me safe and keep me feeling good, that it's almost like I didn't care about other people. And I can say that today with 100% honesty. I've worked through the shame and guilt of it, okay? But then I was this person, and I dealt with someone like this. And, then you have empathy for them, and you understand where they're coming from, and all of these things that kind of come with it. And you learn that the only person that can ever fix you or somebody else is going to be themselves. And the healing, you can't heal somebody else. Somebody else can't heal you. It has to come from within you, and it has to be a decision that you make. And again, I said this, every single time that I made that decision to grow and change and be better for not just people around me, but for myself, was when I hit a rock bottom. And so if you're constantly saving somebody from themselves or their own kind of actions by sacrificing yourself for the sake of it, then why would they ever change if they can get that, I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm struggling to get the message clear. I feel like there's the Queen of Swords in reverse. Again, I get this cold, cruel energy from them. Cold, closed off, dishonest maybe. Now, you could be dealing with an air sign with the Queen and King of Swords, but you don't have to be. That would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Because there's the Knight of Wands and the Devil. I just feel like, and then the Knight of Wands in reverse. The Fool in reverse. This person's self-sabotage isn't going to stop. And there's no guarantee that it ever does, right? It's not going to stop if you continue to allow it. And it's never going to stop until they realize that they need to change. This person's energy toward Cancer. There's the karmic cycle. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It's like they're stuck in this karmic situation, this karmic cycle, this never-ending karmic cycle here, and they have absolutely no intention of changing. But why would they, Cancer, if you continue to show up, even though you're just getting hurt over and over again? That's why you have never again with 4 of Swords in reverse. I'm going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to pull 9 different messages looking at the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. And then I have an advice card to pull at the end. The information for that is in the description box below. But at the top of the description box is a link to purchase tickets for my How to Attract the Love That You Deserve and Desire workshop, which is going to be on April 5th at 6 p.m. over Zoom. If you cannot attend the live event and you purchase a ticket, you will still receive a recording of it. Well, you'll receive a recording of the event the next day, whether you attend or not. But if you're unable to make it and you still want to be able to kind of see, take part in the workshop, then the day after, which would be April 6th, you would receive a recording of it. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to shoot me an email. That email address is always in the description box below. Otherwise, thank you so much, Cancer, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Cancer, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Cancer.